Hi, I'm Beau Vandenberg. We're here at Northern Fab Machine in Menominee, Michigan, and I'm going to take you through a day of my life here as a fabricator. I've been here for just about 9 years now. I run our brake presses and our saws. So I'm going to log in for the day and we'll take you through my day. We're here in our saw cutting area. I looked at my schedule and I found the next job that I have to do to get done. So I'm gonna take the job, we'll go over to the computer and I'll punch into the saw operation. So with the computer over there and the saw op that I get a punch into, it's really nice with the system we have for our management to be tracking the amount of time it takes for us to be on and off the jobs. So all we gotta do is punch into the correct operation we're gonna be working on, and when we're done with the job, we punch out and all that time is tracked so management can look back at the costing and make sure that we're coming in at a good time when we're trying to complete these jobs. So before I do any cutting, I'm going to make sure I have all my protective gear on, glasses to make sure I don't get any chips or metal shavings in my eyes, and also wearing some sort of cut-proof glove to make sure I'm not getting my fingers cut or any slivers in my fingers. Always want to make sure we're being safe when we're dealing with running these machines and any metal that we're dealing with. Got my job pack here that I'm going to be building, and before I start cutting I got to get a program in the saw made for making the cuts to this part. So I'm just going to look at my print and I'll get all the numbers punched in, get it programmed so we can start cutting these parts. Alright, should have it programmed. The print has numbers on it for me to set up in there. It has a cut length for me, so now we just got to go over to our material rack, find the material that we need to use, and we'll throw it on the saw. Okay. So we're over here at the steel rack where we keep all our raw material stock here. I found the material that we need to use, but we have this organized pretty well here. We got a section for our stainless steel materials, our steel materials, and our aluminum materials, and everything's color coded as far as what the material grade is. So it makes it pretty simple as far as making sure you're grabbing the right material based off what the customer needs and what the part is you're building. So that's really nice to be able to do that. We also have a big overhead crane, so if we're moving any big parts off of the material rack or any parts off of a semi truck that comes in, we can use the crane to move material around. It just makes it really nice to work in here, being able to use the crane and have this organization for the rack. We got our material loaded in the saw. We already got the program programmed in, so we're ready to hit go. Let the parts start cutting. So we got the saw auto feeding on some parts right now, and being able to auto feed the saw like that's really nice because I can do more than one thing at a time. While the saw is cutting, I can be grabbing the parts off, inspecting them, and deburring this burr on the part. When the parts come off the saw, a lot of times they have a big burr like that, and we don't want that on there because, for one, that burr can cut somebody's finger, and it can also cause issues later on down the process when we go to bend the part, machine the part. It's just not good to have on there, so we want to knock that burr off. So we'll grab our little 2-inch pneumatic grinder and we'll just knock this burr off and get it ready to go on to the next step. back in our brake press area. We got the parts cut that we just finished over on the saw. Those parts that we cut also have to be bent up before they get machined. So here's our brake press we're going to use to bend them up. This is one of ours. It's an AccuPress. It's 175 ton at 12 feet long, so we can bend really big parts on it. Great machine. We bend a lot of parts using this machine. It's been great. So we're going to take the parts we got to do. We've done them before, so I have a program saved in there. So we'll go on the computer and pull up the right program for these parts, and we'll get all the tooling that we need. The program will tell me all the tools I need to put in there as far as the top punch and our bottom dies. So we'll pull the program up and see what we need to put in there to be able to bend these parts. Got the right program pulled up that I need to do these parts, and looking at my program I can see what punch I need and what die I need to throw in here. So I'll go over to my toolbox and I'll grab the right dies that I need to bend these up. Thing I want to mention quick when you're working on the brake presses is no matter how big of a part you're bending, you always want to be working in the center of your brake. That way you're not putting any pressures out on either end. If you're doing all your work on one end, you always want to be working from the inside out. That way you're not racking the machine in any way it's not supposed to be racked. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're bending. And the other thing I always do when I'm putting tools in or out of the machine is I like to turn the hydraulics off. That way when I'm in here working, putting tools in and out, I'm just being as safe as possible so nothing can accidentally happen when I'm moving tools. Alright, we got the program up and running. We got our tools in there where they got to be. So now I'm ready to bend up one of my parts that I cut. So I'm going to stick it in there, we'll cut it, and then after I get it bent up, we'll check it with our caliper and our square to make sure the dimensions are all correct. It looks like it's a little bit underbent, so I'll have to make an adjustment on the brake, so we can do that. So it's a little bit underbent. It's calling for a 90-degree bend. It was about 5 degrees under on my initial hit, so I just adjusted that in the program, and now I can stick the part back in and re-hit it and hopefully be able to get to a 90. That looks good. Alright, we got a 90-degree bend. Now we can check the dimensions of the part. Well, looks like we got a good part. The dimensions are within the customer's tolerances, so with a good part, we should be able to run through the rest of these here and then send them up to the machine shop for machining. And that's it. That'd be it for back here.